Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara, and I am here with another weekly forecast and Animal Oracle card deck review. And this week, for the week of February 14th to the 20th, I am reviewing this deck, the Animal Spirits Knowledge card deck. And so it's the Animal Spirits Knowledge cards. It's a really interesting deck. It's a little bit different than most other decks that I'm aware of, in that it has the pictures on one side. So there you have, gosh, oh, there we go. So it goes this way, sorry. So you got the dolphins. And then on the back, it has, let's see if I can just show that to you so you can see it. It has the information about that card. And all of the cards are, it's a little bit of a dark kind of, deck. The colors are a little bit darker and muted. There's a seahorse and a lot of line drawings and sketches. Interesting use of color and light, but it's just a little bit, just show you a few more, some really, really interesting graphics and designs, but also it just feels a little bit to me like a little darker, not quite as accessible as some cards, not quite as kind of uplifting and light and that kind of thing. I'm all about depth and going deep and finding the deeper meanings and everything. But they're interesting cards, and I think that the more decks we look at, the more we can figure out what's the deck for me, right? So it's just good information to look around. But again, like a lot of the images, the colors are just kind of dark, and it's kind of interesting. It brings in a lot of layers. Here's one with layers. So and here's a panther. So it's beautiful artwork. For me, it just feels just a little bit darker and heavier than what I personally prefer. But we are going to shuffle this deck to get some insight into this week of February 14th to the 20th, starting with Valentine's Day and continuing the theme of love for the month of February. And this one is really interesting. This one just really caught my eye. And that is, what does she call that? Birds. This is the birds symbology, soul, divinity, creativity, and rebirth. So bunch of different kinds of birds. That one's pretty inspiring and uplifting. And then here, this one, the scarab. So a little brighter, a little lighter. To me, those are more appealing to me. And this is kind of a cool one too. So it's not just animals, there's also people in here. This is it's hard to read. Oh, swan. Oh, there's the swan. Yeah, I see it now. I couldn't see it before, but there's the swan in there. So the font on the writing on the back is kind of fancy and cursive and a little bit harder to read. So let's just tap into the week of Valentine's Day week. And it's hard with these cards because there's information on the front and the back. So it's hard to not look at them and get kind of biased. So I think we'll go with this one. That was on the top. So here's the card. I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it. So this is the HERON card. Do you see the heron here and probably other places too? It's just a funky angle for me. So the heron is symbolizes life, feminine energy, and renewal. So what a lovely, lovely theme to have. And this says the heron is a bird of the water and is thus associated with feminine energy and regeneration. In ancient Egypt, the heron was the first transformer of the human soul after death, because it was seen in flight over the fields when when the Nile began to flood, it was associated with fertility and the renewal of life. So that to me feels like this week is going to be, let's see, I'm just kind of tapping into, it feels to me like possibly a little bit more emotional, that there's going to be some emotions, some movement of water. So, that whole idea of the Nile flooding and regeneration of life. So I think that fitting this into my monthly forecast for the month of February, this is the week to be crying and to let emotions out and to really release what is no longer serving you. Let that really be removed from you, and tap into that creative, feminine, divine energy of renewal and of life. I'm really kind of loving this card and the symbolism of it and the way that it feels. So just this is one of the more light cards in terms of the color. What do you think about that, Daz? So the Heron, renewal, releasing emotions, feminine energy, life. And whenever there's water like that, that to me is a symbol of the emotions. So, and to me, it really does keep feeling like there's water flowing through the week. There's energy moving things out. So just, kind of put out whatever you don't want to hold on to into that flow of energy, releasing those emotions, letting the energy of the week kind of wash them away. So just really that's part of the renewal process, right? Like letting go of the old stuff so there's space for something new. And in my forecast for the month, it was really clear that this is a time for healing ourselves, for releasing the old patterns. So if those patterns came up in your awareness last week, this is the week to process those emotions, let go of that old stuff, and let it be swept away with that flooding of the Nile, so symbolic of bringing in new resources, new richness, and just kind of nurturing the growth of new life. So that's the Animal Spirits knowledge cards. So I love that. I don't think I would have picked up these cards if I hadn't been doing these weekly forecast readings. And it's actually quite a lovely card, lovely deck. I love the energy of it. I just was kind of put off by the dark colors. So go figure, I don't know. So I would love to hear from you what comes up for you this week, what you think about the Heron, or if you interpreted something else from this card. Just let you get a good look at it again. And just put a note down in the comments below and let me know. Heron, renewal, letting go, washing away those emotions. Good luck this week. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.